We are talking about case management with Aging and In-Home Services in Northeast Indiana today. Megan has joined me, and let's talk what it is first. So what is case management?
Yeah, so case management, there's actually lots of different types of case management. At Aging and In-Home Services, we typically offer two different types, which is short-term and long-term case management. Our short-term case management we've talked about before. It's that options counseling piece that comes out of our Aging and Disability Resource Center or the ADRC, depending on what I can get out of my mouth at that time.
You love those initial things. You love the synonyms.
All the time we use those. But anyways, so today we're going to be talking about our long-term case management. So it looks a little bit different, obviously, because it's a long-term process. So it's a little bit more comprehensive. There's some bigger pieces of the puzzle here. It might be a chronic condition. It could be a long-term disease or diagnosis that you've received, but it's something that might inhibit you from being able to safely and independently live without the support or without support from others or providers or something in your own home. What we've learned is that individuals typically prefer to live in their own homes, age in place, and don't really necessarily want or strive to end up in a nursing home. They want to be at home for as long as possible. So what we do is we use our case management services to manage those different providers, different services that are in the home, and we are able to do that through our approach in a community-based setting. So what we do is we go out into homes, we do assessments, we do different types of eligibility requirements. There's all these types of pieces that fall into the puzzle of making your care your own. We're really proud about our statistic of being able to typically defer nursing home placement for about 3 years. So if you come onto our services, we're typically able to get you to stay at home for as long as possible, and that typically ends up to being about 3 years.
Which is what people want.
Absolutely.
You do want, and if you are happier, if you are where you want to be, if you're more comfortable, then it's likely your physical health is going to be better too.
Absolutely.
Because those two things certainly correlate. So let's talk about what services, if you are in that geriatric and disability case management, what kind of services you might receive.
Yeah, so once you are in that long-term case management program, that you're going to be assigned a case manager, and what that case manager does is they do assessments and they determine eligibility, they determine need, they determine I already said eligibility for
it's still eligibility twice, okay?
Twice.
You really have to determine eligibility.
But they determine all of those factors for services that you might qualify for. So we work on a lot of government-funded programs. So there are things like Medicaid waiver. That's a really big program here that we work off of, and that is something that you obviously have to qualify for. So the case manager will go out into your home, do a needs-based assessment, and then also will ask you what you want. We do everything person-centered planning wise. So we really look at what your needs are, what we think that you could benefit from, but then we also have you very vocal in that conversation of what you want to accomplish. And as we all know, a lot of those government programs do come with some invasive, some tough, some why are you asking me that kind of question? So we just obviously want to give everyone a heads up, especially if you're calling into the ADRC to get that initial assessment. There are going to be questions that are asked that might seem a little personal, might seem a little tough, but that is just so that we can determine your eligibility for programs.
Tough, but they are necessary.
Very necessary.
You cannot, it's the government. You cannot get around them.
Unfortunately, you cannot.
Yeah, we have to. Well, coming up, we're going to talk to a couple case managers. We're going to talk about that person-centered planning and what that could mean to you. We will be right back.